Boxing out of the red corner, wearing blue and white shorts. He weighed in at 9 stone, 8 pounds 4 ounces, or 134 pounds and 4 ounces. A 19-fight record, 16 wins, 7 wins by KO, only 3 defeats. Coming to you, a former undefeated 3-weight Scottish champion from the Granite City of Aberdeen, Scotland, Darren Traynor. And across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the navy blue shorts with white trim, weighing in 9 stone, 8 pounds and 7 ounces, or 134 pounds 7 ounces. He brings an outstanding record, 29 contests, 27 wins, 15 big wins by KO with only 2 defeats. A 2-weight world champion, the former IBF and WBA Super 122-pound champ, the former WBA, WBO featherweight champion of the world, from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Carl, the Jackal Frampton.
Michael Alexander, the referee, giving the final words. You can see Traynor clearly the taller man by a couple of inches or so. Carl Frampton tonight fighting as a lightweight, but his ambitions are going to be as a world champion at super feather. He has to come through this impressively, clearly, shaking off some ring rust. His first fight since all those problems with his hands after the fight against Tyler McCreary. He said he'd never known pain like it. But back now in the ring, and speaking to him earlier in the week, he said, yeah, I'm 100% over that now. I was in there as early as February, hitting the heavy bag, having had the operation around Christmas time. He was in the gym at that stage, and he said he was confident, and now totally confident, that those problems are behind him.
Yeah, he'll want to test them out tonight, though, John. You know, he's got the small gloves on now, because he won't have sparred it in these type of gloves. He'll be sparring in probably 16-ounce gloves. So now he's got the fight-size gloves on, then he will want to test his hands out with some power shots. Traynor, what he's got to watch out for tonight, he's a little bit he's a couple of inches taller, which is good, but his jab's got to be quick. You got to remember, Carl Frampton's got a very fast right-hand counter, and if that jab is too slow from Traynor, then that's what Frampton will be looking out for, and that's what he'll score with that right-hand counter. So Traynor's got to keep that jab nice and sharp, try and box at distance, yes, but if that jab's slow, he's got to watch out for the right-hand counter from Carl Frampton.
Traynor stepped up a level back in January 2016 when he challenged for the British featherweight title, lost in 5 rounds on that occasion against Ryan Walsh. Frampton would hope, and his fans would hope, that he's going to look a class better than Darren Traynor tonight. Trained for this by Jamie Moore, who's there at ringside. Hugely popular, of course, in Belfast. I think psychologically he'd admit that he found it very, very tough after that loss in that epic contest against Josh Warrington.
It was a tremendous fight, though, wasn't it, between him and Warrington?
Magnificent.
Warrington got the tactics spot on and surprised everyone that night, the way he boxed. And there's that right-hand counter from Frampton. But yeah, terrific night of boxing. And you know what, John, hopefully one day we'll see the rematch, because I still think that that contest could take place, especially if Carl becomes a world champion again.
Well, time will tell. Certainly be one which a lot of fans in Leeds and in Belfast would love to see. Frampton not finding any big clear scoring shots in this opening round. It's been a fairly quiet opening round as the seconds tick down to the end. Not a lot in it.
But he'll have a job on his hand to keep that going. Actually, to keep Frampton at distance will be his problem.
I said earlier on that Traynor's had a stop-start sort of career. He'd admit he's had one or two problems in his life, but he's got himself into shape, and he's here trying to give his best here tonight and trying to give Carl Frampton rounds and trying to, at the same time, well, that's not going to be allowed, and Frampton will get a little bit of a word from referee Michael Alexander.
Yeah, just acted on instinct there, and just a bit of a mistake, and Carl touches gloves. He knows he's a bit naughty there, but just reacted on an instant, wasn't it, on the moment.
I think a lot of people tonight will want to see evidence of real hunger and real desire from Carl Frampton. And increasingly, as the fight goes on, they'd like to see a bit of sharpness. There's a nice left hook to the body. And one back, a right hand from Traynor.
Frampton going through the gears a little bit here. But fair play to Traynor. He responded well there.
Traynor not fought since February, when he had a points win against the journeyman Des Newton. Carl Frampton out of the ring since November, and with those hand problems that we've talked about, he had a fractured hand going into his fight against Tyler McCreary and damaged his other hand during the course of the fight. That's had screws and plates and goodness knows what inserted. Says the only worry is that once we get back to getting airport travel, that he can actually get through airline security without tripping off the old security cameras with so much metal in his body.
Yeah. Carl Frampton knows he's got to get close to his opponent here, but Traynor's boxing quite well on the outside. He's not overcommitting, he's working well with his jab. But if you see how he just leaned in there and just made the mistake, that was a slow attack and then just gets caught with the counter. You can't afford that slow attack against Carl Frampton. It's got to be quick, decisive, and you've got to be accurate with your first shot. You've got to hit the target. If it's slow, look, he's just leant forward again there, just lean forward, and that's when you risk getting caught.
Carl Frampton in action against Darren Traynor, and here's some of the action from that second round.
Yeah, not a lot in this round, was there, to be quite honest. Traynor boxed well at distance. Occasionally Carl Frampton closed the gap down, but when he did this slow attack here, look, just reaches forward, falls short and gets caught with the shot there from Frampton.
So into the third of a fight scheduled to go 10. Frampton only with the 2 defeats on his record. Josh Warrington in that epic, and also the defeat in 2017 in Las Vegas against Leo Santa Cruz. Many people thought that there would be a third fight, a trilogy there, but it's not happened yet. I wonder if it ever will.
It's got to happen, John, that has, that contest.
You'd have thought.
Well, if Carl Frampton wins tonight and gets that third shot at that world title, then if he becomes a world champion again, then it opens the door for so many contests, doesn't it? Leo Santa Cruz, most certainly. Even Archie Sharp could be brought into it at some stage. You know, he's got a ranking of number 4. That would be an all-British affair.
Now then, what's the referee? No, get on with it, he says. WBO champion is Jamel Herring, who's defending his title on September the 5th against Jonathan Oquendo. The contracts already are in place for Frampton to fight Herring at some stage after that. Some well-placed judges are just asking the question, whether Frampton, at the higher weight and against a bigger man, whether physically he's going to be able to move up to that level. That's going to be the big question if he gets through this and if he moves on to that contest.
Heads there, heads have clashed. He just showed me something there, Carl Frampton. He's starting to work with the jab to the body now, and he's just a little feint. Now and again, he'll feint to the body, and then you just watch for the right hand to come over the top. See these jabs, he jabs to the chest or jabs to the body. After the second or third jab, then you see a right hand just whip over. Boom. There it was there, not far away.
That's good from Traynor.
That's
good work.
Yeah, good work there from Traynor. Traynor's more vulnerable, I think, when he's actually coming forward, when he's waiting for Carl Frampton. He's catching Carl Frampton coming in. And occasionally he'll also work as Carl Frampton's breaking away. And Carl at the moment has got low hands. He's getting caught with the odd shot moving away from Traynor.
Traynor's had his moments in this third round. There's a good left hand from Frampton. Traynor takes it well though, maintains concentration and moves towards the bell to end the third. Frampton, as you'd expect, is taking these rounds, but Traynor had his moments in that third.
Yeah, he's showing signs, isn't he, Traynor? Occasionally he's coming back at Frampton with some good long-range work.
Good jab there from Traynor.
It's just that if he gets a little bit too confident as he's coming forward, that's when he could walk onto a right hand over the top. So he's got to box clever and box at distance, I think, Traynor.
Looking for the right hand, Frampton, but not able to find a clean shot.
See a fairly wide stance from Frampton. Just leaning back. He's just trying to draw the lead hand of his opponent. That right hand counter is very, very effective. The wide stance, he just wants his opponent to throw that jab. That's why when Traynor does throw it like that, he's got to hit the target. If he falls short, if he goes to the side, then he risks then getting caught with the counter. Basically, John, it's not making the mistake. You've got to be accurate with your work.
Well, he's been warned before, and the right hand almost connecting around the back of the head, which of course would be an illegal punch. Frampton now 33 years old. The clock is ticking. He's been a professional now for a long time, since 2009. Here tonight in his 30th professional fight. You'd expect there to be signs of ring rust, having been out of the ring for so long, and presumably, by his own admission, getting a bit of a dad-style belly in that time before getting himself back into some sort of shape. Been training with Jamie Moore in Manchester. Or is it just over the Salford boundary? Somebody's going to put me right on that one.
That's right.
Might be Salford technically. It's in Greater Manchester. And perhaps in his heart he'd just want to be showing a little bit more than he has done so far, as we move now into the fourth. Jamel Herring will be watching this intently, I'm sure, somewhere. And no doubt thinking, yeah, I can cope with this.
I think the trainer camp have done their homework here, John. He's not rushing in. Darren Traynor, he's listening to his corner. I keep hearing his corner saying, take your time, be patient. That's what he's doing. He's trying not to overreach and miss with that first jab, because that will be the problem. And with him just staying at distance and range, then it's just making things a little bit awkward for Frampton, because Carl's the shorter man. He's got to close the gap somehow. He'd prefer Traynor to overreach with that left hand of his, and so he's going to close the gap down himself.
Lives and trains in Aberdeen. Training coming from David McAllister for Darren Traynor. Frampton just overbalancing there.
Yeah, he just started the attack from too far away there, Carl Frampton. The trainer just growing in confidence now. John coming forward a little bit.
There's a decent right hand from Frampton. You have to judge Carl Frampton by the highest standards, though, because years gone by he really has been an elite fighter. Remember when he beat Kiko Martinez in 2014 to become the IBF champion? That fabulous victory in New York, majority points decision admittedly, but a great win nevertheless against Leo Santa Cruz. And let's not overlook the win against Nonito Donaire, who was still a pretty live fighter and proved it subsequently. But is he still at that sort of level? Can Carl Frampton get back to where he was?
Seconds out, round 6.
For Darren Traynor, a man stopped by Ryan Walsh, also stopped in just 3 rounds by James Tennyson. Only one fight in the last 2 years, and he's given Frampton problems. Into the second half of the fight. No question about who's winning. Frampton's got to be ahead on points. But he's not really got Traynor in any sort of real problems so far.
It's because Traynor's limiting the mistakes that he's making. He's boxing at distance and just making it a little bit awkward and tricky for Carl Frampton. His corner keeps saying, be patient, just hold your ground. They don't want him to come forward too much and overreach. See, this is an example look of that. He's just waiting. But that, like I say, just making things difficult. That's better from Carl Frampton. Just quickened the feet up there, you see. Quickened the feet, got close, and then landed that right hand. But Traynor, again, because he's not coming forward, overcommitting, it makes Carl Frampton just have to work a little bit harder in closing that gap down and landing the shot.
Frampton, so many great nights in the past, and believing that he's still got great nights ahead. There's a nice right hand. Traynor going looking for him. Didn't miss by too much with that overhand right.
Good work from both boxers actually, because Traynor put a good attack in there, forcing Frampton into the corner. But it was a nice little manoeuvre, wasn't it? How Frampton got out of it, and now he's dragging Traynor in.
That's a solid right hand, decent body shot from Frampton. And more. Starting to load up a little bit more on that right hand, Frampton.
Yeah, again, going through the gears a little bit here, Carl Frampton. The pace was probably suiting Traynor, and I think Frampton realised that. They both caught each other there, John.
I wonder if the more damage was done to Traynor with that right hand, which landed pretty flush. Comes back gamely off the ropes.
Oh, good shots to the body. There was two that went in there.
And he's down face first, which is not a good sign. And he indicates to his corner, that's it. Does he? No, he doesn't get up. Oh, he does, just in time. I thought the referee was going to wave it over, but no. And the body shot did him, and goes down for the first time. And any doubt about who's dominating the fight has been emphatically removed. Wise man in the corner, Jamie Moore, and he, I'm sure, will have said, get out there and finish it now. He'll be looking for another big body shot because the pain will remain. This is really going to test the desire now and the resilience of Darren Traynor.
I'll be surprised now to see a few feints from Carl Frampton to the head, just to bring those elbows up of his opponent and then whip the body shots downstairs.
There's one.
So yeah, he's looking for the body shot straight away, but he's got to bring the elbows up of his opponent. So the odd feint to the head with the jab and then whip the body shots under the rib, under the elbows of Traynors. That's what he'll be looking for.
Well, we talked about Michael Conlon going through the gears earlier on, which he did brilliantly against Sofiane Takouche. Frampton now trying to do the same. Oh, and he's turned it in. Left hook to the body, and Darren Traynor looked at the referee and said, no, that's enough. And Carl Frampton, with the left hook in the 6th round, has got the win that he wanted, and power shots to the body were the difference.
Yeah, tremendous shots to the body there from Frampton, and it's been a good night for him in terms of getting 5 or 6 rounds under his belt. And Traynor was boxing well up until the last round, but got caught with a couple of big body shots, and then again there, left hook to the body, and he wanted out. And you know, fair play to Traynor. He's come in at short notice anyway, and I thought he was boxing well up until he got caught with these body shots. But you know, you can't blame him. Look at that for a shot there, Traynor. He's had enough.
I'm not quite sure exactly what he said to the referee, but I can guess. I think he just said that's enough, or words to that effect.
Wasn't it a lovely move from Frampton? Watch him slip to the side, slips to the left, and then whips that body shot underneath the elbow of Traynor. Lovely move. Just a simple slip, big left hook.
He said, I've had enough. I don't need any more of that. The evidence had been there in the previous round when he put him down with a right hook and a left hook to the body, and Frampton, seeing the opportunity, told by his corner to finish the fight, take him out, and that indeed is what he's done. And so he gets victory number 28 in his 30th professional fight. Cobwebs brushed off, power shots produced, victory achieved, and so he can move on now towards the next big test in his career. This was a marking time fight, if you like. They've duly done that, and the two fighters now are brought centre ring, and here now is Craig Stephen to give the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time is 1 minute of round number 7. Referee Michael Alexander dispenses with the count. The winner by technical count out from Belfast, Northern Ireland, Carl the Jackal Frampton.
I thought a few signs of rust from Carl Frampton, and that's really no surprise, bearing in mind what he's been through and now coming towards this. But eventually he got the punches that he wanted. He moves on as a winner, and his ambitions, they will still burn.
Carl, you've got a few rounds, your hands are okay, you're moving towards a world title. Good night's work.
Yeah, look, I was happy to get the win, obviously, and I was far from my best, but I suppose, you know, people talk about rounds and doing the rounds. It's not, I don't think it's going to harm me doing the rounds. Look, if I had I could have, like, if I wanted, not if I wanted, that's the wrong terminology. If I had the chance to take him out in the first round, I would have done it. But saying that, the rounds are good. He's a tough kid.
Is it increasingly hard for you to get motivated for a fight like that when you know there's Herring out there, when you know it could have been Herring in the summer? You're a normal man.
Yeah, look, but I had to make sure that complacency didn't creep in at all. And if I slipped up here, potential banana skin, you know what I mean? No one's expecting Darren to beat me, so potential banana skin, absolutely no pressure on him. And he came in and I had a decent game plan. They were trying to step back and not rush things, but once I started landing my jab, and I hurt him a few times with a jab as well, and then the body shots in the second half of the fight.
Obviously a very different fighter to Herring, but the dimensions are good. Height, size, power, strength. So in that sense, it was good to have a big man in front of you.
Of course, look, it was a better opponent for Herring than the original opponent, because I think he was about my height, maybe even a little bit shorter. Darren isn't a southpaw, but the dimensions are similar. But I know I need to be a lot better than Herring, but it was good to get the rounds done. My hands are fine, no issues there, so yeah, onwards and upwards.
And finally, Carl, is it your understanding that the Herring, providing he comes through the Oquendo defence on September 5th in Vegas, is it your understanding that fight happens this year, you and Herring?
I think so. That's what Bob Arm said. Frank is happy for that fight to happen as well. MTK are saying it. We've been talking about it for a long time, so hopefully that's it.
And final, because I always do a final. Yeah. You have had, since your very first fight, since all of your amateur fights, since your junior fights at the Dockers Club, you've had at least 5 people there, maybe 500, maybe 5,000. How was it tonight?
That was strange. It was a bit surreal, but once you're in there and another guy's throwing punches at your head, you soon switch on. So, final. Before I go, I want to say hello to my wife Christine and my kids, who I'm going to see tomorrow. Haven't seen them in a while, and I'm going to see them in sunny Turkey, so I'm looking forward to that.
Go and enjoy holiday. Thanks very much, Carl. Shout out to the boys to me. Carl, thank you.
Thank you very much.